Welcome back, everyone, to Campfire Spookhouse. I am Scary Terry, and this is
Rock Horror.
That's right. Today we are reviewing episode 5, the 1975 classic Jaws. Most people would consider this film, I feel like, to not be a horror. However, we do believe that it's a horror. I label it as adventure horror.
Yeah.
One of my all-time favorite movies. Having just rewatched it, I've developed even more of a love and appreciation for it and the thrilling aspects of it.
Mm-hmm.
The director of that film is also none other than Steven Spielberg, who we all know for making such groundbreaking films over the years. Starring Roy Scheider as Chief Martin Brody, the great Robert Shaw as Quint, Richard Dreyfuss as Matt Hooper, Lorraine Gary as Ellen Brody, the chief's wife, and Murray Hamilton as Mayor Larry Vaughn. The description of the film is when a massive killer shark unleashes chaos on a beach community off Long Island, it's up to a local sheriff, a marine biologist, and an old seafarer to hunt the beast down.
Yeah.
All right. So, guess we'll start off with what social or cultural messages is the film conveying, do you think, Rock Horror?
So, social and cultural messages. I'm thinking, so for me, when I think about this particular thing, I think about, all of those kind of small towns, the blue-collar towns, the places where there's only one industry or maybe two.
Yeah.
Because that was the theme, right? A lot of the reasons why the shark was able to eat so many people was because of all the pushback against, well, we need, this is the only time we make money, so we gotta let the beach
in the summertime, yeah.
So, and that's the type of issue that speaks to a place that only has one option for provision.
Yes.
Over time. So, beach towns, blue collar towns, they deal with similar things. So,
yeah.
I think this is speaking to that demographic.
Absolutely.
And then the cultural things that go with that. If you were in another place, they'd be like, who cares?
Yeah.
Close the beach.
Yeah.
But
in this particular place, in Amity, I mean, that is the biggest thing for them. That's what they all look forward to. Going off of what you're saying, too, I do think that what I felt watching the film, that a big issue was no one was really willing to take responsibility for what needed to be done. I mean, and having a large body of water like that and one predator that's really hard to sort of seek out unless you're actually in the water with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there's that fear of the unknown.
Yes.
And so I feel like a lot of them were afraid to do what they really knew that they needed to do was to kill the shark, essentially.
Yeah.
And to close down the waters. But again, financial, it would take a lot of the money away.
It's interesting that you said that exact phrase, which is like fear of the unknown. Because I suppose that was also what the mayor was fighting with, struggling with, because the fear of the unknown. You know that this is how you make your money if you close the beach, even though it's for safety purposes. How will we fare through the winter?
Yeah, exactly. So what are the repercussions of this if we don't act on it now?
Because it's fear in both instances.
Yeah.
But he was working within the framework that he figures he could. He was hoping and believing that the initial shark that they caught was the shark.
Was the actual shark, exactly.
He wasn't willing to cut it open.
No, because then I feel the fear of the unknown, right? I feel like he would...
Because then it
would prove maybe that this is
if it was the wrong
shark.
It was going to confirm it was a wrong shark. Then he knew for sure in that instance that he would have to close down the beach. So he was hoping, crossing his fingers and his toes, but not willing to really look, what are they, like pull back the curtain, like from the Wizard of Oz, but in this case, cut open the shark stomach to actually see what was there. Of course, we the audience get to see that obviously that's not the shark,
right?
And then of course consequences ensue.
Yep.
Yeah.
But how does the movie use lighting, color, and camera angles to create suspense?
So this is Spielberg.
It is.
So we're talking, when you're talking about like camera angles, and as I mentioned while we were watching it, the king of blocking, just a masterful use of movement, even from the beginning with the drunk guy chasing, I guess that would be his girlfriend, love interest, chasing down the beat, the silhouettes, the leading lines from one edge to another. Just a clever use of every kind of cinematic tool in the tool chest. The different lenses, the ones that would there was a lot of use of primes,
right,
where you can see like out of focus. You can see around the edges of the faces in some of the close-ups that it was a little bit blurry, which means it's a very shallow depth of field. So he's using that. He's using zoom lenses. He's a lot of movement, excellent blocking, excellent framing. So there was more movement. There was more movement in like the first, just mundane things like running along the beach. Someone else might have used a static shot to just see people move along the beach, but there was as much movement on land and within the shots as there was from this killer predator under the water.
True.
Yeah.
So you and I have graduated from a film program, but for those who may not know, can you touch on blocking just so that they might understand what that means?
Yeah. So blocking just speaks to the movement within a frame. So both the starting and ending point of any given character and or like object. Let's say there's a chair that they pick up to move to another place. So basically, how all of that falls within the frame of the film.
Right.
So if someone is sitting down and then someone walks in, but they're standing, but you want both of them in the frame.
Yeah.
And you want to pan, then you would pan, and blocking would be figuring out exactly where the actors need to be so that this person could remain sitting while the other person walks into frame. And then you would have the person sitting closer in the frame. So now their head is kind of bigger and superimposed. The person standing is more like a full length body, and it creates this very interesting dynamic to maintain that the person sitting is actually the person in charge because they're the talking head.
Right.
Meanwhile, the other person is a full body shot. That's just like one of the many examples and many things that Steven Spielberg just does masterfully in all of his films.
When you started telling me about the blocking, I started to then see it as we were watching the movie. You can literally see it in every scene that he does. It's very well thought out and brilliantly orchestrated.
Just a simple things like during the 4th of July scene, when there were just people walking and driving in a town.
Yep.
He made people just walking to the beach some of the most just interesting things, captivating things to watch.
Yeah.
And like I said, all of those things are choices.
Right.
None of it's, and this is what's so great about his blocking. It doesn't seem like it's trying to fit within the frame. It just does.
Right. Yeah.
Like you notice it and you don't because it feels right.
It's natural. It looks natural. Yeah.
That's what I said. He's the absolute king of that.
How does the movie use sound and music to enhance the horror experience?
Well, music is great. Imagine sound and music both great. Of course, you're in the water, so you're gonna have the water sounds, the beach sounds. But the first time initially, when you're using the camera is of course in this POV of what the shark is doing.
Yes.
And then you get the iconic dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
So it's very similar to like Psycho with the
yeah. It's like it's simplistic enough, even like John Carpenter's Halloween.
Yes.
But it grabs you. And what I kind of like about that dun 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 sound is it sounds almost muffled to me, like distorted, which I think fits perfectly well with being in the ocean.
Yeah, underwater.
Underwater, like the buoyancy, you're bringing yourself up and you're like spitting water out at the same time.
That's great. It, right? If you notice, like, I'm glad you mentioned that, because when he finally, like, when a fin would come out, or when he would actually pop out, that's when the other parts would come in, like the da-da-da-da.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's
it
like swimming to the surface, right? It's perfect. It's beautiful. I do think I've always loved the music in the film. The sound as well, especially like the opening scene where the girl went into the water and the drunk teenager went to follow her. He never actually got into the water though. The splashing of the water and the sounds even that she was making as she was panicking, like that scaredness in her voice, that terror, was really, really well done, especially for a film at that time in 1975 of its release, which to just go ahead and on a big budget and make a shark attack movie.
Yeah.
I feel like you're taking a big risk there, a big gamble, but the film did so well.
I think one of the things I mentioned, one of the reasons that the film did so well is because it was Spielberg doing it.
Exactly.
Because if it was a lesser filmmaker doing Jaws, it might end up just being, like I mentioned, like a B movie. Like a cult movie.
Yeah, I feel like it would have been like a kind of a Roger Corman vehicle, to be honest, like a B movie, as you said, because I feel like he would be next in line to do something like a shark attack movie.
Yeah.
But 1 year prior to the release of Jaws, in 1974, Steven Spielberg made a crime drama called The Sugarland Express with Goldie Hawn. And I think because of the success of that movie, that sort of paved the way for confidence with a young Steven Spielberg. Yeah. And a fantastic movie, man. Honestly, great film. So it worked out really well. And then after Jaws would follow Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and then eventually Indiana Jones and E.T. and so forth. So very well done. Let's talk performances, though. How do you think the actors convey fear and suspense?
So this movie did very well with both of those. Mm-hmm. Whether it is the kind of the inquisitiveness, the confusion, the kind of confoundedness, or the general fear with, Richard Dreyfuss's character.
Absolutely.
He did a fantastic job as far as his reactions.
Yes, I agree with you.
In the movie, the main character, what's his name?
Chief Martin Brody.
Yeah, so
Roy Scheider, the actor.
Yes, so it's Rory.
Roy, R-O-Y, Roy.
Oh, Roy.
Yeah.
Okay. So Roy, excellent. One of the most iconic, shots where there are cuts. Mm-hmm. When he's throwing, they're on the boat.
I was hoping you mentioned that.
And he's throwing the chum in the water.
Yeah.
And then he pops up, and then he looks back, and then the cut to where he stands up really straight.
Yeah, scared stiff, and
he did that so well. And that's when he goes, you're gonna need a bigger boat.
Yeah. The line that he improvised, by the way, it was not scripted.
He did a fantastic job.
I feel like it was so I'm really hoping it was a one take too, just one and done, and because just how perfect it was. Because he wasn't expecting it. He wasn't expecting the shark to come up like that.
His wife, the actress that played his wife,
Lorraine Gary.
The scene that I pictured the most is when, of course, his son is in his birthday present, which is a boat.
Yes.
And this is after there was already a shark attack. And he's saying, get out the boat, don't go on the boat. Yes. And the mom is like, well, it's his birthday. And then there's a scene right after that where she's looking in one of the books,
picture. Yeah.
And she sees the shark riding a boat.
Yeah.
And then she immediately goes, listen to your father, get out of the boat.
Yep.
And that was a fantastic scene. And I said, throughout, great reaction. When that stupid mayor finally, when that stupid mayor and another person gets attacked on the 4th of July, and then he's like, my kids were out there too. And it finally sinks into him that that he could as easily been a victim as his family member could have been a victim.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I was trying to do what's best for the people. Like, that actor portrayed his
Murray Hamilton.
Yeah, his remorse really well.
Yes.
And it was a great juxtaposition to the kind of cocky or even like snide, snarky way that he was portrayed earlier.
Yeah.
It was a great contrast.
I think Richard Dreyfuss was probably I honestly feel like my favorite performance in the film.
I agree.
And the reason why I say that I think he was my favorite is because he was the humor for the movie. Like, he would kind of give off like a couple one-liners here, these good jokes, but more so the jokes they were like sarcastic. Like, he was acting out of frustration.
Yeah.
Because here's a guy who's really good at what he does, loves sharks, based his whole life and devoted his whole life to it ever since he watched a boat when he was younger get taken apart by a shark that he had mentioned in the film.
Yeah.
But it's because he knows that this shark is still out there.
Yes.
And he wants to protect the town. He gets frustrated at the mayor and he's like, you know what? I don't need this. I'm going to leave tomorrow. I'm leaving him. But he's not going to leave because he knows that something needs to get done and he feels partly responsible for it. He needs to help in some way.
Yep.
And I feel like he was the motivation that Roy Scheider, the chief, needed.
Yes.
Like, he needed somebody to be on his side and push him to be like, you need to take responsibility for this.
There's that conflict, right? Because, of course, he goes with his instincts, which is to shut down the beach.
Yes.
That's why he goes to the store, gets the things to make the sign.
Yeah.
But then he just has this brief meeting with the powers that be, the business people, the mayor.
Yes.
And then during that entire meeting, they mention, hey, you're new. So it's like a veiled threat.
Yeah.
And he has his family. You start off with the family, so you know that he's obviously there for a reason. He's a new chief.
Yes.
He needs the job as much as he likes the job. He wants to do it his way.
Yeah.
But they're basically telling him that he can't do that. So he absolutely needs an ally. He needs someone else to say, actually, we need to shut down the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Robert Shaw as Quint, because I'm more familiar with him playing sort of villainous roles. And in this particular movie, I mean, here's a skilled, hunter, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I think his performance in this was also very good.
Yep.
I do think, like, he was kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
A little bit, like, kind of cocky and full of himself. You can tell, like, it seems to me like he's been on the water so much in his life that he doesn't socialize well with people.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like to the chief and to Matt, Richard Dreyfuss's character, like, that's why they don't really get along very well with him.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think he gave an incredible performance. And the way that at the very end, when he's sliding down the boat as he's being attacked by the shark, that actually kind of got to me watching it last time, because I didn't really pay attention before the times I've seen the movie at that goriness of the blood, like, spewing out of his mouth when he's getting eaten alive. And I'm like, oh my God, like, that's actually intense.
I suppose I pay attention to those things, but those are the things that I always remember.
Yeah.
Are those kind of gory bits. If blood actually did come out of the person's mouth, if they'd been bitten or shot or whatever.
Yeah.
I pay attention to those things. So it really was once again, it's a great dynamic. It was a contrast between him sitting down in that meeting being, so confident and cocky, saying, I don't want anybody else, just me.
Yeah.
And I want $10,000 and I'll get you your shark. And then like from that to then being bitten in half basically and pulled under.
Yeah.
That type of contrast and dynamic. It really was like striking in a good way.
Yeah.
Great, fantastic cinematography, fantastic pacing, fantastic storytelling on the part of Steven Spielberg.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's two other performances that I want to touch on and ask you what you thought about them. I want to talk about the mother of the boy who was attacked.
I knew that's who was coming next.
I really, really, really felt for her when she slapped the chief in the face when she approached him. And before, like, I wasn't kind of having much on her. Like, she's just a concerned mother. She lost her boy. I get it. But you can really see the emotion conveyed in her face and her expressions that, like, you knew about this other girl who died in the water and you still didn't close down the beach. Like, this happened. I literally lost my boy because of you not taking responsibility for this, which again, being a big subject of the film, is refusing to take, not even refusing to take responsibility, but being afraid to.
Yes.
And so I thought her performance was really good in the movie. What did you think about it?
I think that, I agree. I think the performance was great. I think what I appreciated about the performance, and that scene in particular, was there were moments where she also let up. It wasn't this full of rage tirade against, like, you killed my son sort of thing. Mm-hmm. It was more like, I just needed you to know that wasn't the thing that you should have done.
Yeah.
Because now my boy is dead.
Yeah.
And
the situation definitely could have gotten much worse, but she did have that sort of that even flow.
That's why I say I think she was going, when they talk about the different stages of grief.
Yeah.
You could see her going through it.
Yeah.
As she was talking. She'd be at different stages and then it would just kind of loop.
Yeah.
That's what was really great and cool about that particular performance.
Yeah.
Because even when the beach got silent and they realized that there was a shark attack and everybody's on the shore, and she can't find her son.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was heartbreaking because she's the only one looking. Everyone else is with their people. She's the only one looking.
Well, you also had mentioned too that you being a father, like, you completely understand and you empathize in that situation because, like, what would you do if that was your kid, if that was your son?
Once again, we go back to the beginning of this channel about never being in those situations.
Right.
But had there ever been an instance where anything like that, even like the hint of it?
Yeah.
There's no limit to what I would do to get my revenge.
Right.
To get my wrath out on the world. That mare is getting thrown into water.
Right.
Like the cheat, like they would have to kill me.
Right.
I would not let up.
So not only a threat in the water, but there's a threat on the land as well.
Absolutely.
The last performance I want to talk about, and it's one where every now and then I'll be watching a movie and I just get really impressed by a child actor. Yeah. But the chief's eldest son, who was playing in the pond on the boat, when that boat had tipped over and he was in the water and you see the shark just kind of like swimming by because the camera really rushes towards him and swims by. I really felt the look on his face was genuine. Like, he was absolutely terrified when he saw what was in this water.
Yes.
And you got to have kind of those thoughts in that moment too about how my father specifically told me not to go in the water. Yep. And, like, here I am, and, like, this is what he was talking about. This is what he was trying to warn me against. How did you feel about that? The fear that he was conveying in that moment.
I just think he nailed it. I can't think of a moment in a performance in this particular film where I thought to myself, oh, didn't quite hit that mark or anything like that. The smallest parts, the biggest part, his younger brother crying.
Yeah.
When he realized that
on the beach.
When he realized that his bigger brother was either missing or was just laying down.
Yeah.
He didn't know what to do, so he just cried because he's a little guy.
Yeah, of course. I just, like, you could really see the look on the older brother's face, like he's frozen in the water.
So when they say that he was suffered shock, that's just
you can see it. Like, exactly. Yeah. So I was really moved by his performance too.
Yes.
I think it was a great cast overall.
Yes, absolutely.
How do you feel the movie? Does the movie use jump scares or more nuanced performances to create horror? What did you feel about any jump scare kind of moments or any moments of anything that came off as really frightening to you?
So I think once again, what this film plays up really well is the fear of the unknown.
Mm-hmm.
So there were instances and moments, like especially when they're out on a boat and there's three of them and they're trying to hunt the actual shark. But for the most part, it wasn't jump scare heavy.
Yeah.
It really was building up the atmosphere, the dynamic of the characters that instilled the fear.
Yes.
Because of course, we as the audience, we've seen what the shark could do.
Yes.
Then we're dealing with kind of the politics behind why you need to close or why you should leave open. Then the shark attacks again.
Yes.
So you know we know that it's a serious threat, but now everybody else also knows it's a serious threat.
Yes.
And then finally and even after that, still it comes down to the 4th of July.
Yeah.
And then with the 4th of July, when it gets getting closer and closer to home.
Yeah.
So like the pond is an even closer place where people are getting attacked. That one guy's leg falls to the bottom, but it really is it was a buildup. So when they finally go to hunt this shark, because up until this point we barely see any of the shark.
Exactly.
So it really it's a fear of unknown for us as the audience as well.
That's exactly. I'm a big fan when I watch films of pacing in general, and the pacing was incredible. I like that you don't really see a lot of the shark throughout vast majority of the film.
Yeah.
You see the camera moving underwater towards the subject, so you get the idea that something's coming for you. But that's
great use of perspective.
But that's also what it feels like when you're swimming in a body of water. Like you don't know what's in there with you. You can't see what's underneath you. And if something were to come up, I feel like it would just hit you out of out of surprise like that, just very quickly. But it's like when you actually see the shark at the end, the way it comes out of the water, and Roy Scheider gives that pullback and that reaction, I feel like it's kind of our reaction too, because especially like the first time that you watch this movie, you're like, holy hell, that is a massive shark.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. I thought that it was done very well for that, and the pacing sort of leads the way, and you're like, I can't wait to actually see this shark. And then when you do finally see it, you're like, I want to see more of this shark. You can't wait for the next shot.
Yeah.
Overall, though, your conclusions and final thoughts. How do you feel about the film?
I think that this is a top tier film just from a filmmaking perspective. I think there's so much done so well, and I can't really think of things that weren't done well.
Yeah,
in this particular film, especially for the time that it came out as well. I just think there's a great film overall.
I agree.
Whether you're talking about the performances are fantastic.
Yeah.
The cinematography is fantastic. It's Steven Spielberg.
Absolutely.
So you're talking about top tier stuff across the board, and I like that it is like a multi-genre film.
Yes.
So yes, it is a horror film. Whether or not people want to believe it, it certainly is. It apparently when it came out, people didn't like the beaches and stuff like that. They saw a drop in the amount of people that were willing to
go swimming
afterwards. So it obviously did the job.
Just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water.
Jaws 2.
Jaws 2. But anyway,
but yes. So it does an excellent job at providing that kind of fear. Of course, us seeing it in this case, between the two of us, we've probably seen it more than once.
Absolutely, I have.
And same with me.
Yeah.
But still, I can appreciate just the masterful quality of the filmmaking and how well it's put together, the performances, the story, the pacing, everything about this movie is top tier.
Yes. I do think it created a legacy as well, as it did veer off into. Without Jaws, we wouldn't have Jaws 2 or the sequels to follow. We wouldn't have Orca. We wouldn't have Piranha. We wouldn't have Lake Placid. We wouldn't have Deep Blue Sea. So
underrated as well, Lake Placid.
Yes, very much so.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I think Deep Blue Sea is underrated too. If you ask me,
I agree. That's a movie that
it's not. The film's not to be taken seriously in any way, shape, or form.
And that's not a masterful film, but I think Deep Blue Sea does as good a job at instilling fear.
Well, suspense, building suspense.
Yeah, as well. Because it is this whole idea. What if Jaws was a genius? That's basically that's basically it. Right?
And there were 3 of them.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. I think. Again, I have no complaints about Jaws. I think it's a great film overall. The music is amazing. The performances are amazing. The pacing is amazing. The overall theme of the film, the fear of the unknown, I think is really great.
Yeah.
I would have to, again, it just being a classic film and one of my favorites, I do give it a total of 5 jump scares out of 5. What would you give it, Rock? How do you feel?
So I thought about it as well. And for the same reason, there's no flaws in the movie that I can really pick and say, oh, it's not this, and it fits all the criteria.
Yeah.
For what it is, it does an excellent job instilling the fear.
Yeah.
And it also was pioneer.
Yes.
And yes, for all of those reasons, I also would have to give it 5 jump scares.
Hell yes, man. All right. So there you have it. 5 jump scares from both of us. If you haven't seen Jaws, make sure you have. Make sure you watch it. But let's be honest, you've seen Jaws. Who hasn't?
Yeah. If you don't, and if you haven't, find somebody who hasn't, and scare them a little.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We want to say too that we really enjoy over the last 5 weeks of creating these reviews. We're having a blast doing it. We want to watch more movies. We know a lot of you are big horror fans. We're very new to this and checking them out. We're looking for recommendations and any films that you guys have. So please feel free to like and subscribe to our channel and comment below. Let us know what your favorite horror films are. We will be sure to make a review for them and to give a shout out to you as well. And make sure that you come here to join us next week when we review John Carpenter's Halloween for episode 6. Make sure you're there. Until then, this is Campfire Spookhouse, where we scare ourselves awake. Scary Terry.
Rock horror.
Rock horror. See you next week, guys.
Next week, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Next week, Jamie Lee Curtis. Can't miss. Gotta be there. Later, guys.